Ladies and gentlemen, the final episode of our 7-round team mock draft series is finally here, and we are finishing the series off with the team that won the Super Bowl and holds the number 32 overall pick, the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have lost a lot in free agency. They lost Josh Sweat, they lost Milton Williams, they traded CJ Gardner-Johnson, they lost Mekhi Becton. But this is still an incredibly talented, loaded roster that looks primed to go back to the Super Bowl in the NFC. What moves can Howie Roseman and this Eagles team make to help get them back to the top of the football world? That's what we're going to be talking about, and we are going to be finishing this series off. Thank you guys so much for all of the support you guys have shown. This series has grown this channel to new heights, and I really appreciate each and every one of you that has joined along the journey. But if you are new here, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. We do tons of NFL draft content just like this. We're finishing up our positional ranking series as I speak. We are also working on some other series coming later this summer that I highly recommend sticking around for. Leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, check out the Patreon page, which I will leave linked in the description below. It's $5 a month, but you guys will get full access to my draft guide with my scouting reports, player notes, combine and pro day numbers, and so much more. Be sure to check that out. It's an easy way to support the channel, but let's kick this off and finish off this series strong with the Philadelphia Eagles. So here at pick 32, I am going to go with a corner here because you got Kelee Ringo slated to start, and I just don't think he's a starting corner in the league right now. They brought in Adoree Jackson. They've got Eli Ricks. And they've got some bodies, but Savone Revel is on the board here at 32. And if it wasn't for the injury, he would be going in the top 15. In my opinion, he is just as good as a prospect as Quinyon Mitchell was last year. He's one of my favorite players in the entire draft class. He's 6'1", 188 pounds. I think he plays bigger than that. That's what he weighed in at the combine. But this is a guy that played closer to 200. He just has phenomenal size and length for the boundary corner position at 79.25-inch wingspan. He's really fast. He's got phenomenal athleticism. But my favorite part about Revel that I just don't think gets talked about enough, he's one of the best tackling corners that I've ever seen. He is phenomenal at wrapping up. He uses his long arms to his advantage. He can play on the boundary. He can play in press. He's got really good zone instincts, but he's also got a good punch and press coverage. He can do a little bit of everything for you, and I think he's drafted into a situation that benefits him a ton because he's not going to be asked to start right away. And he's not going to have these super high expectations. He can sit for a year, get healthy, learn the scheme. We know the Eagles love to draft the need before it's a need. And not only does drafting Revel fill a potential need for you, but it allows you to play Cooper DeJean at that nickel spot where he is at his best. I think Revel is a phenomenal player. He's going to be a really good player in the NFL, and I'm going to take him here at 32. I think he makes so much sense for this team and is a piece that Vic Fangio would just love to add to this defense. So I'm going to take Revel at 32. At pick 64, I am going to go with an offensive lineman. That's a move that this Eagles team just loves to make, and they love to get these big, powerful guards. And Jonah Savainaya out of Arizona, to me, feels like an Eagles type of offensive lineman. Really good size for the position. A guy that he is a tackle. He has played tackle throughout his collegiate career, but this is a guy that is 6'3", 339 pounds, had an 81.75-inch wingspan, and did a 4.95 at the combine. He's incredibly athletic with good quickness and athleticism to get up into the second level as a run blocker, and he blocks with a level of nastiness. He loves to drive guys into the ground, and he has played with a ton of versatility. He's played both guard positions. He's played right tackle. He's got a great stance. He plays low, really strong in his upper body. He's going to have to improve his anchor. His footwork can be a little bit up and down, but overall, this team lost Mekhi Becton. They brought in Kenyon Green, which I hate to break it to Eagles fans, is a bad player. I think Savainaya could slot in and start at right guard right away. They love to draft the need before it becomes a need. They've got Tyler Steen there. I think Savainaya is a very good offensive lineman that's just kind of getting lost in the shuffle in this class. I've got a second to a third round grade. And with the last pick, here in the second round, if Savaiinaea is on the board, I think it would be pretty hard for the Eagles to pass on that type of value for a guy that I think could start at multiple offensive line positions for you right away. I'm going to go with Savaiinaea. I think he's perfect for this team. I think he's a scheme fit. I think he fits what the Eagles want to do, particularly in the run game, where he's been phenomenal for Arizona. He's going to be my pick here for the Eagles at 64. So we're on the clock here, and a player that I really like as a fit for this Eagles defense is starting to slip down draft boards. Green Bay is on the board here at 87, and I'm going to make a move to trade up and go get that player. We're going to give up pick 96, pick 164, and a future 6th rounder in exchange for pick 87 and pick 250. I think there's a really solid player. I think we're giving good value, but we're also moving up 9 spots. I think there's a fair deal on both sides. I'm going to make this move with Green Bay. And that player that I have my eye on is going to be Oregon edge rusher Jordan Burch. Burch, to me, is the perfect Josh Sweat replacement and a guy that can play virtually everywhere along the defensive line. He's 6'4", 279 pounds, and he has played everywhere for Oregon. He's played on the inside. He's played true edge for them. And this is a guy that just has phenomenal length, athleticism, and size for the position. Usually when people ask me about Jordan Burch, I say go back and watch the Oregon State game in 2023, where he seemed to be in the backfield every single play. He gives you a very high floor as a run defender, and he's one of the more powerful edge rushers in this class with an incredibly strong bull rush. He does play with really active hands for the position as well. I would like to see him land more moves with his hands because they are active, but I don't think he really has a full plan as a pass rusher, and he is not the most explosive athlete. He ran a 4.67. He's got shorter arms than you'd like to see. Gap discipline can be up and down, but this is a guy that gives you versatility. He gives you the option to play as that 3-4 defensive end. I think he could do a little bit of everything for you on the defensive line, and you lost Josh Sweat, who's a big part of this team. I think Burch can come in and fill that hole really right away. I think he's that good of a prospect, and if he's on the board at 87, you see he's the 75th ranked prospect. I've got a 3rd round grade on him. I think he's worth trading up to go and get, so I'm going to take Burch here at pick 87. Here at pick 134, the Eagles love to draft defensive linemen. They love to go multiple deep on the depth chart and just play a bunch of guys. We drafted Burch, but they did lose Milton Williams, who was a huge contributor at getting after the quarterback this past season. And I'm going to take Aeneas Peebles out of Virginia Tech here with this pick here. This is a guy that's been really productive as a pass rusher throughout his collegiate tenure. He's 6', 289, 17.8% pass rush win rate, 37 pressures, 3 sacks this past season for the Hokies. He is a very high upside pass rusher and a guy that has started his collegiate career at Duke where he was very good. He's got great explosiveness off the line of scrimmage, quick first step, and he matches that with the speed to get into the backfield. Really good pass rush moves where he has graded out incredibly throughout his collegiate career. And I think he gives you some upside as a run defender as well. He is a little bit undersized at 289, can play a little bit out of control. His change of direction is a little bit iffy at times, but as a 3rd, 4th defensive lineman that is going to be able to get after the quarterback and create pressure, I think he's a home run pick and a guy Philly would absolutely love. So I'm going to take Peebles for them at 134. I think he makes a lot of sense from a schematic point of view, but he's also just got the traits and the upside to get after the quarterback in a similar way, in a similar type of upside that Milton Williams brought you. So I love the athleticism, love the pass rush potential. I'm going to take Aeneas Peebles here at pick 134. Here at pick 161, I'm going to go with the receiver for this team because Jahan Dotson is currently your wide receiver 3. And while Dotson's not a bad player at all, he's a good number 4, I think. I think you can upgrade that spot, and I think Ty Felton just gives you a few more options on the field. Really impressive speed, and I think that's kind of the element that this Philly team should be looking to go get with their next wide receiver. He's 6', 186, but he runs a 4.37. A guy that was incredibly productive in the first half of this season for the Terrapins because they found ways to get him involved, whether that be on screens or dump-off passes. He is a guy that can create after the catch and be a really productive piece. He had 1,119 yards this past season. He is a guy that like I mentioned, I think if you get him the ball in space, he can be an elusive, electric yard after the catch type of player. I think he can develop into being a high-end number two. There have been some concerns about could A.J. Brown potentially be out the door in the near future. And while I'm not buying into those rumors, at least right now, I do think adding more depth at the wide receiver position is always a smart move, especially with all the player movement that we see. I know they brought in Anaya Smith last year and Johnny Wilson. Ty Felton is a different type of receiver than both of those guys, and I think he's a better prospect than both of those guys, to be completely honest with you. So just given the type of receivers that they have on the roster, I think Felton, he can play on the boundary, he can play in the slot, and he gives you some dynamism that I don't know if this team has necessarily after the catch. So I'm going to take Ty Felton with our pick here at 161. Here at pick 165, I'm going to go with the tight end because this is an Eagles team that is looking to trade Dallas Goedert. He's getting up there in age, and I don't really think they've got a great tight end on the depth chart. They got Grant Calcaterra sitting there. I think you could upgrade that spot, and Oronde Gadsden is a player that I just feel like I haven't taken enough, and I really like Gadsden. I think he's a very good tight end prospect. 6'4", 247, 81 3/4 inch wingspan. He ran a 4.65 at his pro day. He's got phenomenal size, long catch radius, and a guy that just seemingly caught everything that was thrown his way. 934 yards this past season with 7 touchdowns, 60.7% contested catch rate. He's got quick feet, is a really solid route runner who does a good job of finding soft spots in zone coverage. He's got good routes where he can make quick cuts here and there. I think he is super versatile. Syracuse ran him in the slot. They played him as a boundary receiver at times. They played him in line. And this is a guy that I think could do a little bit of everything for you. 32.6% of his snaps came in line, so you'd like to see that number go up a little bit. He is still pretty raw as a blocker. There's just not a lot there for him at this point. But Calcaterra has been a pretty reliable blocking threat for you. So I'm going to go Gadsden here. I like the receiving upside that he brings, the large catch radius like we mentioned, the ability to high point the football. He's an athlete that is a really good route runner, knows how to get open. I think he makes a lot of sense, especially with the news of trading Dallas Goedert. Probably here in the next, I would assume he could get traded on draft night. So with that in mind, tight end is a need, and I'm going to take Gadsden here at 165. Here at pick 168, I think safety is going to be a position that they draft in day 3. I know some people would like me to go with it earlier, but I like Sidney Brown. I like him quite a bit as a player, and I just didn't think he was given an opportunity. I think they go into the season with him as the starter, but you still need depth. People are going to see Jalen Reed on the board and want me to take him, but I like R.J. Mickens quite a bit more than I like Jalen Reed as a prospect. I think Mickens is a more versatile player. He's a more experienced player. And I think he's just as good of an athlete. I know Reed ran a 4.49. Mickens also ran a 4.49. There's just something about Mickens that I really love because he's got the sideline-to-sideline speed. He's physical and sticky in man coverage with nice movement skills. And a guy that just hits really hard. He plays with a ton of physicality for the position, and he gives you versatility. If you want him to play free, he's got the sideline-to-sideline range to do that. If you want him to play in the box, he's a good run defender, and he hits hard. He's got that physical nature to come downhill. If you want him to play in the slot, he's got the coverage opportunities to do that. I love the versatility of Mickens. He's a bit of an older prospect, which is why I think he's probably not getting enough of the love that he deserves. And his play strength has got to improve. A 13.1% missed tackle rate this past season, a little bit too high for my liking. And I think that his play strength is going to have to improve. He just bounces off blockers way too frequently. But at 168, I think this is phenomenal value for a guy that is a number 3 safety, but I firmly believe can be a starting safety in the NFL. So I'm going to take R.J. Mickens here at pick 168. With our final pick here at 250, I'm going to go get a long-term tackle that could just be some nice depth. Lane Johnson's not getting any younger, and they really don't have a successor to Lane Johnson. I'm looking at Jordan Williams out of Georgia Tech here as a potential option. One of my favorite sleeper tackles in the entire draft class. 6'6", 318 pounds, 81 3/4 inch wingspan, 34-inch arms. He's got good athleticism for the position. Gets into the second level with good quickness. He lands some pretty powerful blocks in space. I think he's got good hands to counter defenders, particularly in pass protection. He does look a little bit undersized. I think he disengages a little bit too early, and he's got to work on his blitz recognition. But as a guy in the late 7th round with athleticism, length, and a guy that I still think has room to grow into his frame, I think this is a great pick for Philadelphia, and a guy that I like better than some of the other guys here that are on the board, whether that be a Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon or a Xavier Truss. I think that Jordan Williams has a little bit of a higher ceiling than those guys. So I'm going to take Jordan Williams out of Georgia Tech to finish this draft off at pick 250. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the final 7-round mock draft. Improving the secondary, adding some pieces along the trenches. This feels like a very Eagles draft, but I'd love to hear from you guys, Philadelphia fans. What did you guys think? Do you like the draft? Do you hate it? Would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.